Okay, so we've talked about the music, we've talked about the movement, and this is what I'm super excited to ask you about, the sensory haircuts.
Yes, another big passion.
Tell us about the sensory haircuts. What is a sensory haircut? Who is the clientele that you're providing these sensory haircuts to? And how did you get started in that?
Yeah, so I'll start at the beginning with sensory haircuts or haircuts in general. I have always cut my hair since however long I've known. I remember my dad used to give me the classic, shave head.
Buzz cut, yeah.
Right. And I was like, Dad, can you help me fade? And it would never turn out, the way I wanted. So just had to go to school, with just a basic haircut, which was fine. And then remember going to like Great Clips and the other shops around there, and they just didn't get it the way I wanted. So in turn, I was just like, I want what I want. So like, I just got to figure out how to cut my own hair. And so that developed and learned how to cut my own hair. And so when I was in my clinical fellowship, that's where it started. I was in a session and one of the parents was talking aloud. She was like, oh gosh, I got to get his haircut. And I was like, is it difficult? And she was like, yeah, it's like a 4 or 5 hour thing.
Oh,
and
my
I was
goodness.
like, what? And she was like, yeah, the whole family has to get prepared and it's like a whole thing. And I was like, really? And I was like, well, I cut my own hair. I cut my cousins, I've been learning. Why don't I try it? And she was like, okay, but like fair warning, it's
just letting you know it's going to be hard.
Yeah. And I was like, I had patience. So, I remember at the time I was, and I still am working with occupational therapists. So I was like, hey, you see this kid, can you help regulate? And I didn't know a lot about sensory input, but I knew that the occupational therapist was going to help out. So we do the haircut. He's regulated, and a lot of things in my life, speech therapy, I'm learning what works for one person and what doesn't work. Just like myself, like we're humans. What works and what doesn't work. So it was trial and error. All right, you're not liking me sing. I won't sing. Let's play, music on the phone. That was beneficial. We counted to 20. Ooh, that's too long. Let's just count to 10 and we'll take a break. So that's a cool thing, which I love about speech therapy and what I love about sensory haircuts, because I'm playing detective and I love mysteries. Like that's my genre. I love mysteries. So
yeah, you always have to have a bag of tricks, because what you have planned, and I learned that the hard way in graduate school, what you have planned may not be what is going to happen. And you've got to be able to make those adjustments and change on the fly.